This is Don O'Malley with Don's Breakfast Cereal. Today we're showing Blackhawk, chapters 11 through 15. This stars Kirk Alyn. Years ago I met Kirk Alyn at, I believe it was Higbee's downtown. It was early in the morning, nobody knew who he was. I was standing in line about 20 minutes early. Eventually the girl came up to me that was running the show for him and said he won't be here for 20 minutes. I said, that's okay, I can wait. About 20 minutes later, they escorted him out. Again, no one around except him and myself. We talked for about half hour to 45 minutes. He was showing me how to fight like they did in the movie serials back then. He signed a few autographs for me. Most of them were dealt with Superman, because that was one of my favorite serials. If I had known about Blackhawk at the time and I had anything, I would have taken it with me. So I did enjoy having time with him. It was about 4 months after that, he was downtown Cleveland at a convention signing, him and Noel Neal, who also starred with him in Superman 2 serials, and then was with George Reeves. As I was waiting in line, I have a few more pictures for him to sign. As I put him down in front of him, he glanced up at me and recognized me, and he stood up and took a swing at me, and I ducked. He said, it's a good thing you remembered. I said, it's a good thing I ducked. Otherwise, I would have been knocked out by Superman. So that's why Kirk Alyn is one of my favorites. So here we go with chapters 11 through 15. And thanks again for tuning in to Don's Breakfast Cereal Show. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
The Blackhawks, with no weapons but their strong fists and alert minds. Again locating the stolen cylinder, Blackhawk makes a desperate effort to retrieve it, but his enemies are equally determined to keep it, and now...
Never thought I'd see you again.
What happened to those men?
They got away in their car.
One of them has a cylinder of element X.
I know. I think we can trail them.
How?
I put a hole in the radiator. It's leaking.
Good. We'll get right after them. The man I was fighting went to sleep. I'll tell the police about him.
There's no trail.
We have the cylinder of element X, and Al is sure we're finally rid of Blackhawk.
Excellent. I hope Alyn was not mistaken again. The cylinder must be taken out of the country at once. You will receive instructions about it by radio. Code G. Be ready to move instantly.
We are ready.
That is all.
Laska signing off from Station 5.
I should take the car to Station 7 and see what makes it heat up.
Go ahead. I have another parked out back. Report to me when you get to Station 7.
Blackhawk and one of his pals were outside checking over the car.
They couldn't have trailed it here.
They couldn't, but they did, and Blackhawk's still alive.
Repeating.
The leader's orders are to fly Element X to Valdez below the border. My car is parked out back.
That is, if they're the men you're looking for.
Well, it seems to answer the description. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Too late.
You notice our place is all the same inside.
Yeah, they must have a reason for that.
Don't tell me you like that stuff.
I was wondering if it's a code. Somebody wrote on this pad and tore the top sheet off.
Maybe that black lead will bring it out.
I hope so. Maybe this is the message that was in code.
Didn't work.
Well, you can pick out a word here and there. Fly Valdez.
Valdez, that's in Mexico.
Isak will meet. And that's all. That may be enough.
Isak, who could that be?
Read it backwards.
Yes. Case, the member of the defense council who disappeared.
He tried to get away with Element X once before. We're flying to Valdez.
There's another plane ahead flying the same course we are.
I see it. They must be our friends.
That other plane is speeded up. Looks like one of the Blackhawks.
Then get ready for them.
Hey, they're firing at us.
They've hit us. Listen.
Good shot, Alyn.
Maybe we better bail out, huh?
Not yet. I think I can make it.
Nice going.
What's nice about it? We lost the other plane, and we're still a long way from Valdez.
Well, we'd walked before.
buenos dias, senores.
Buenos dias. Would you be kind enough to give us a ride to Valdez?
With pleasure. Step right in and make yourself comfortable. It has been great pleasure. Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.
Nice guy. They're hospitable people. Well, the police station's over here.
Your credentials appear to be in order, senors.
Then we may count on your help.
Si, senor. In every way.
Thank you.
Please be seated. I've read in the newspapers about your efforts to uncover an organization of saboteurs. I shall be glad to help.
Well, we're sure that plane we were following was carrying a cylinder of highly secret material known as Element X.
Element X?
It's a fuel which throws off a perpetual flow of energy, similar to the atom.
And we suspect the stolen cylinder is to be shipped out of here to a foreign power.
I see. And your purpose is to find the cylinder and capture the thieves.
That's right.
I think Senor Borrego can help.
Oh, who is he?
A big ranchero. His hacienda lies a few miles east. I had reason to visit him only yesterday, when someone attempted to assassinate him. Second time in 2 weeks.
Political?
No, senor, not political. Since you tell me of this Element X, I suspect it had something to do with that. Recently, we have noted an increase in the number of visitors to Valdez.
How do we get out to this hacienda?
It may be under surveillance from the people you seek. In that case, you must be transported with the utmost secrecy.
That won't be easy.
No. Your uniforms aren't exactly inconspicuous.
Hardly.
My man Juan will be here soon. He will take you to the hacienda without being seen. In the meantime, senors, rest yourselves.
Thank you.
What is it, Hodge?
I received a message from Jose's guitar.
Don't tell me Blackhawk showed up.
He sure did.
Impossible.
With one of his crew. He went right to the police.
They have more lives than a dozen cats. We may be forced to change our plan.
We don't want to tangle with the Mexican police. They're good.
I want Blackhawk and his buddy out of our way at once.
That may be easier said than done. Any suggestions?
Yes, I have. Just one. Don't fail.
All right, Lasky. We'll work out something.
It is all arranged, senors. Juan has returned and will drive you secretly to the hacienda of Senor Borrego.
Fine. We appreciate your help.
It is nothing, amigo. Now here's what you must do. At the end of this alley, you will find a cart loaded with hay. You must crawl under the hay, and Juan will drive you to the hacienda.
We'll report to you as soon as we return. In the meantime, thanks again.
It is nothing. Adios.
He says Blackhawk and the other one are being driven out of town in a hay cart.
I wonder where they're going.
What difference does it make as long as they don't get there?
Well, there's a lonely stretch of road about 2 miles out.
Use a fire projector.
Thing's on fire.
You didn't have to do that.
Who is this man with whom Laska is conferring? Are the saboteurs planning to ship out with the stolen cylinder? You can't afford to miss Drums of Doom, Chapter 12 of Blackhawk, at this theater next week. The Blackhawks, with no weapons but their strong fists and alert minds. Concealed in a hay wagon, Blackhawk and Chuck make a secret trip to secure information. But their ruse is discovered, and now pursuit closes in swiftly.
Hey, this thing's on fire.
You didn't have to do that.
Get up!
Well, that settles the 2 Blackhawks. Now let's check on the driver.
Well, there's nothing we can do for him. Your friend ran out on you, but But you're gonna face a murder charge.
Should we haul him back to town?
No, we'll take him to Borrego's.
Let's use his car.
So, at last I meet my enemies. What brings you here this time? More trouble?
No, thanks. We just had some.
Who are you?
Pretending not to know me is a poor defense, senors.
I never saw you before in my life. Until these men attacked us on the road and forced us to come here.
At my orders. They recognize your car as one used in several recent attempts on my life.
Oh, well, that checks with something the Comandante of Police told us. You must be Senor Borrego.
See.
We came to you for help at the Commandant's suggestion. Do you treat all your visitors this way?
I am guilty of an injustice, senors. You must try and forgive me. My men were merely attempting to protect me from my enemies.
Then this man must be one of them. He and his companion followed us from town. They shot our driver.
Place him under guard. We will hold him for the police. Please sit down and tell me your problem.
I'm Blackhawk. This is my chief assistant, Chuck.
I have heard of your organization. Wine, gentlemen?
No.
What brings you to Mexico?
We're searching for a cylinder of secret fuel that was stolen. It's to be smuggled overseas to a potential enemy of my country and yours.
We followed two of the enemy agents by plane. They'll probably turn the cylinder over to a local contact.
Do you know this contact?
Oh, yes. He calls himself William Case.
You'll do. Get aboard ship. Otto Helga, seaman second class. Service record excellent. You'll receive your orders later. Where's Hodge?
2 Blackhawks captured.
You mean you let them escape? They've probably gone to the Borrego Rancho.
Well, then Case will take care of it.
Not if Blackhawk's smart enough to see through his disguise.
He's not that good.
I'll make sure he's not. Take over. I'm going to the rancho.
I am sorry, but I do not recall this man you described as William Case.
He may have disguised himself and changed his name.
Or he may not even be in this country. Perhaps you are wasting your time.
We are, if you can't help us.
I will try my best to have him located. Possibly in a few days.
That may be too late. If Case gets away, we've lost Element X.
You will excuse me, senors. A minor household matter demands my attention.
Oh, it's quite all right. We'll have to be going anyway.
Please stay. Perhaps when I return, I may have a solution to your problem.
What do you think of Senor Borrego?
He reminds me of somebody. He's trying to stall us.
Wonder what his game is.
Have those two Blackhawks been here?
I'm entertaining them in the patio. They're looking for William Case. I'm stalling them until they learn how much they know.
They'll know a lot more if they find out who you are.
Don't worry. They'll get what the real Senor Borrego got before I'm through with them.
Well, get busy. We're ready to sail. I've alerted all agents except Hodge.
He's here. He can go into town with you.
All right, get him.
That car stopped outside.
Maybe a friend of Senor Borrego's.
Or an enemy.
Senor Borrego turned our prison over to whoever was driving that car.
Our host isn't exactly what he pretends.
Explains his stalling. He doesn't want us to find Case.
No, I think we've already found him.
A very interesting deduction, Blackhawk. Unfortunately, your discovery comes a bit too late.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Case.
The masquerade was necessary to throw off pursuit. I found it convenient to take over this hacienda as temporary headquarters.
And we had to walk into it.
You'll stay in it. Within an hour, I shall be safely out of Mexico with Armamedix in my possession. Turn around.
Thanks. You got us out of a tight spot.
Those men were bribed to keep my servant and myself prisoners in the stable. But we overpowered our guards and took their weapons.
Well, you must be Senor Borrego.
See, and who are you?
Well, we're known as the Blackhawks. We've come from the United States to arrest the man that imprisoned you.
Senor Case, where is he?
Well, he was...
There he goes, senors.
Could have sworn that car came this way.
It did. Case must have gone down one of those side streets.
Great, now all we gotta do is pick the right one.
Well, it's a small place. Listen.
It's guitar music, an old Mexican custom.
Not that music. Where have I heard that before?
That's the tune we heard being broadcast back in the States, playing coded instructions.
I think we're hearing some more coded instructions.
Can you decipher them?
Maybe.
Blackhawks around. Keep out of sight and lay for him.
That music is warning somebody to get out of sight.
Maybe Case.
That guitar player should know. You follow him. I'll look around.
Leave him there! Will Chuck also walk unsuspectingly into a trap, or will he carry on successfully without Blackhawk? See the thrilling answers in Blackhawk's daring plan, Chapter 13 of Blackhawk, at this theater next week. The Blackhawks, with no weapons but their strong fists and alert minds. Blackhawk and Chuck pursue the leader of the subversives to a small town. They lose his trail there, and now, as they start an intensive search of the area, leave him there!
Hold these men. I'm going to find my assistant.
Blackhawk. A guitar player led me into a bad spot.
You know, it may be the right spot. Help me get him in that truck. That ought to keep him out of mischief.
Whoever's running this place is apparently furnishing those enemy agents with cars.
Yes, this car, for instance.
That's the one Case is driving when we chased him into town.
If you're looking for element X, you won't find it there.
Well, Mr. Case, I thought you and that stolen cylinder would be out of the country by now.
Unfortunately, the police are guarding the dock area. How did you find this place?
One of your comrades was kind enough to lead us here.
Where is he? What have you done with him?
He's locked up with a couple of mechanics who got in the way. Now then, let's get down to business. Where is it?
Where is what?
Don't be stupid. The Mexican authorities have been alerted. You can't get out of here with element X without being spotted. Now start talking.
I don't have the fuel cylinder, but I can take you to a place where you'll find it.
How do we know you aren't lying?
You don't. But a man with a gun pointed at him hasn't much choice.
Remember that, Mr. Case. Now get in the car. Start rolling.
Worried, Blackhawk?
No, but you'd better be if you're guiding us into a trap.
Hardly. I have too much respect for that gun you're holding.
I'll believe that when you turn over element X.
You'll get your chance. We're heading for a deserted cabin about 10 miles south of Valdez.
Is that where you've hidden the fuel cylinder?
No. My instructions were to wait there. The contact man is to bring it to me.
Good, then the three of us will be waiting for him when he arrives.
The Blackhawks have captured Case.
All we have to do is close in on that cabin and get rid of those two Blackhawks.
We'll get rid of them, but not that way.
What do you mean?
The Blackhawks have enlisted the aid of the Mexican police. We've got to draw them off.
The only way we can do that is to give up element X.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
Anybody in that cabin?
I told you it was deserted.
I'll make sure. Keep them covered, Chuck. There's nobody inside, but there's a plane parked in the field just beyond the brush. Who owns that?
The organization. They were keeping it here for emergency use.
It could be the contact man bringing element X.
Get Case out of sight, behind the cabin.
Don't make any mistakes. You won't be around to regret them. X. I was beginning to think we'd never see it again.
I told you you'd get it back through my help.
Your contact man wasn't very helpful. I had a hard time convincing him.
We'd better get that cylinder back to the Defense Committee in the United States.
Our friends thought of everything. We'll use their plane.
What about Case?
We'll take him with us. The Defense Committee would like a few questions answered. Go ahead, Chuck. Take off. I'll keep an eye on him back here. Put a chute on.
Off in our plane.
Blackhawk. You got away with the cylinder of Element X just as you wanted.
Good. Now we are finally rid of Blackhawk forever. What he thinks is Element X will explode before the plane reaches the border.
Well, we still have the secret fuel.
Where's Case?
I don't know. The only one I saw was Blackhawk.
Here's his car. Let's look around.
Wait a minute. Blackhawk has forced Case to go with him in the plane.
We'd better warn Case of his danger before it's too late.
But there's no radio in that plane.
Well, maybe Case is wearing a magnetic impulse receiver. He usually does.
Well, we'll see if we can flash him a warning.
Up.
Take care of this, Chuck.
Right. Code signal got through the Case?
If it didn't, he's finished. That cylinder's just about ready to blow up.
Will Alaska and her men make their escape from Mexico? What deadly trap is Alyn setting in this abandoned car? Don't fail to see Blackhawk's Wild Ride, Chapter 14 of Blackhawk, at this theater next week. no weapons but their strong fists and alert minds. With Case a prisoner, Blackhawk and Chuck fly homeward. They also have the cylinder of element X, but are unaware that it now contains a deadly explosive.
Take care of this, Chuck.
Right.
You think the code signal got through the case?
If it didn't, he's finished. That cylinder's just about ready to blow up.
The cylinder's going to explode!
Chuck, bail out! Come on, jump! Go on, Case, jump! You all right, Chuck?
Sure, I'm okay. The case jump?
Gee, I hope so. I want to find out what they did with that element X they took out of the cylinder.
Hey, the Mexican Highway Patrol.
Good deal. Here's where we get some help.
I saw the parachutes, and then the plane explode. I hope you're not injured.
Oh, we're all right. But another man landed over the hill.
I saw him bail out, but didn't see a chute open. I'll go to the nearest patrol station, send out a car for you.
Good idea.
Yes, and have them call the Commandant of Police in Valdez. Ask him to arrest a woman named Laska and a guitar player whose name I don't know. Also, two men named Alyn and Hodge.
It is a pleasure to assist the famous Blackhawk, Senor.
Thank you. Let's see what happened to Case.
Why the sudden stop?
Look up there.
They've arrested some of our men.
I wonder why.
I don't know, but I'm not going to wait around to find out. I hope Case bailed out of that plane before it was too late.
If he didn't, he's been blown to bits along with those Blackhawks.
Take a message. It's to Case.
Well, he's done for it.
Chute never opened. What do we do now?
I'd hoped to find out from Case what they did with element X when they filled that cylinder with explosive.
Blackhawk, look at his wristwatch. It's a wireless receiver.
It's in Morse code. Repeat. No chance to ship item from this side of border. Reply, where can pick you up? Signed, L. The police are closing in. They can't ship element X from Valdez, so they're heading back to the States.
That's it, Blackhawk. A lot of good that'll do with us way out here.
You know, I'm not so sure of that.
A wireless transmitter.
No, I figured if they expected Case to reply, he'd have to have something to transmit messages with. Chuck, this is where we bag a flock of traitors.
Case is coming in.
It's about time.
Message received. We'll be waiting at the Valdez Toros crossroads. Case.
You know where that is?
Off this road a few miles. It's a straight shot from there to the border.
The ambulance will be here shortly, senores. We came ahead to see if we could help in any way.
Oh, thank you. Take us to the Valdez Toros crossroads. I'll explain as we ride.
At once, senores.
Case should have been waiting for us.
He might have had a long walk.
He may be around somewhere. He'd be smart not to show himself till he sees us all.
Perhaps so.
Alaska.
Don't shoot. You might hit Blackhawk.
We'll try to catch them.
Sure thought you were a goner.
Oh, so did I for a minute.
You're not hurt, Senor Blackhawk?
No, amigo, I'm all right. Thanks to your skillful driving. You'd better take a look at him.
This man is badly hurt, a head injury.
Now what? The others as far ahead will never catch him.
They cannot get far on this road. It leads straight to the border. I can radio the patrol to hold them when they try to cross.
Good. I'd like to radio the Blackhawk headquarters in the United States.
We'll order the ambulance to pick this one up.
We'd better get him off the highway.
There's a barricade at the border.
I'm going through it.
Nice driving, baby.
The name is Laska, to you and everybody else in this organization.
All right, Laska.
Get on the radio and see if everything's all right up ahead.
What happened here, Diego?
You can see for yourself. They drove through the barricade.
I am very sorry, senores, but you will have to seek the cooperation of your own authorities.
Well, anyway, thanks for your excellent help.
That goes for me, too.
It was nothing.
It was a lot. So thanks again, and adios.
Adios, amigos.
A la vista.
Hi, Stan.
Hi.
pal.
Your message was relayed to me by headquarters.
Oh, did you see that car we were chasing?
Yeah, it's only a few minutes ahead of you.
Are the other boys standing by?
All set.
Good.
Fix the car for Blackhawk.
It's their car, all right.
I wonder where they could be. Another car was parked there. A heavier one, maybe a small truck.
Then they switched to that.
Maybe. Don't touch anything, Stan.
Will the other members of the Blackhawks still carry on the fight? Are Laska and the mystery leader to have a final showdown? For the smashing climax, see the leader unmasked. The final chapter of Blackhawk at this theater next week. The Blackhawks, with no weapons but their strong fists and alert minds. Laska and her men escaped from Mexico despite Blackhawk's efforts to stop them. Knowing that Blackhawk will follow, she now resorts to a desperate ruse.
It's their car, all right.
I wonder where they could be. Another car was parked there. A heavier one, maybe a small truck.
Did they switch to that?
Maybe.
Don't touch anything, Stan.
Hey, when you yelled, you saved my life, Blackhawk. I should have figured they'd set a booby trap.
Car 1 to BH. Come in, BH.
BH to car 1, go ahead.
A panel truck just passed here, headed north, in a hurry.
Trail them, but don't let them see you.
Car 1, over and off.
BH to plane 1. Come in, plane 1.
Plane 1 to BH. Come in, BH.
Did you hear my instruction to car 1?
Yes. I have the panel truck in sight. It's heading north toward the city on Highway 99.
Good work, Andre. If it changes direction, notify car 1 at once.
Right.
BH, over and off.
Plane 1 to car 1. Come in, car 1.
Go ahead, plane 1.
I'm having trouble keeping the panel truck in sight because of the traffic. You better close in on it. It's still on 99, about 5 miles east of the city limits.
Check. Car 1, over and off.
Close in on car 1. Where'd the others go?
They must have gone in there.
Turn him over to the police. I'm going up on top. You two cover the front and back. If anybody comes out, trail them.
Get it to working. I must report to the leader that we have the cylinder of element X.
The Blackhawks have arrested the driver that brought you here.
Then they trailed us.
Keep them busy. I must get this to the leader at once.
Where's Blackhawk?
I got him.
Let's make sure. Let's get out of here. Looks like your luck just ran out, Blackhawk.
What did you do with that cylinder of element X?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Nice going, Olaf.
Did you see anything of that girl, Alaska?
No.
Then she must have gotten away with that cylinder of Element X.
Maybe Chuck went after her. The car's gone.
Let's get outside in case Chuck calls in. All right, come on. Get up.
Outside.
Well, the police want to know if you're trying to fill a city jail.
Tell them to quit worrying. These men are going to the federal pen. Handcuff them. DH to car 1. Come in, car 1.
Car 1. I've trailed Alaska to a public garage at 10th and Turner Streets. I think she's going to hire a car.
Don't lose her. I'm hoping she'll lead us to the head of the sabotage ring. We'll join you as soon as we can.
Check. Car 1, over and off.
Our men are being caught everywhere. Our secret stations are being discovered. And now Alaska has vanished. Has she too turned traitor?
SR1. It is Alaska, sir.
Where have you been?
I've been trying to get the cylinder of Element X to you, but I'm being followed. What shall I do?
Where are you?
At the garage, station 8.
Is there anybody there you can trust?
Yes, Vladimir's here.
Give the cylinder to him. Then lead the Blackhawks off so he can bring it to me.
I had hoped to do that myself.
You are selfishly thinking of yourself instead of the party. You will obey or pay the penalty. Do you understand?
Yes, I'll do as you say.
Good. That is better. Let the Blackhawks follow you to Station 6. There will be a trap set there for them.
Very well.
Connect me with Station 6. I'll set a trap which will catch not only the Blackhawks, but Alaska also.
Car 1 to car 2. Alaska's heading into the mountains toward that abandoned cabin.
I've let the Blackhawks follow me. We're to set a trap for them.
Yes, I know. Check your guns.
What have you been doing?
I went out the secret exit to see if the Blackhawks had come.
Did you see them?
No. Perhaps they lost your trail.
They're not that stupid.
There's a car hidden near the cabin. Maybe for a getaway. You cover it, Chuck.
Blackhawks are closing in.
Have you seen my gun? Maybe it's in the other room.
blind side. You can take them easily.
What are you running away from?
Oh, nothing. I know when I'm licked.
Then suppose you lead the way in.
Oh, no, I can't do that. No! No!
They're coming. Stand by.
No! Don't take me in there! That cabin's gonna blow up any minute!
Clear out, fast!
Laska's getting away in the car.
She has too much start on us. We'll need police help to locate her. Calling Control 1. Calling Control 1.
You intended that I should be destroyed at Station 6, didn't you?
It is too bad you were not. That is the penalty for thinking of yourself instead of the party.
I got the cylinder of element X for you. What more could you want?
Selfless devotion to the cause, which you have not given.
It's Case. Well, it can't be. Case was killed in Mexico. Were he and Case twins?
No. Case found a man who closely resembled him, then had him made identical with plastic surgery. They often took each other's places.
Turn these people over to the federal authorities.
Come on. Well, he won't be needing this.
Hey, it's good. It's good. Oh, Mary had called for supper before new adventure arrived.
I'm afraid the district attorney won't recognize Miss Richards when he finds her a withered mummy.
The commissioner's been alibying his failure to turn up anything in these Purple Death murders.
You remember the commissioner and I have cleaned up crime waves in this town before.
Yes, that mysterious Captain America did most of your work for you.
I feel certain that this new crime wave will bring him out of hiding to help us. Where's Gail Richards?
Where you'll never find her.
must realize I'm a ghost.
A ghost? Boy, that's a sharp suit.
This is the suit I was buried in.
Oh, the suit you want.
Tell my friend he's going in the wrong door.
Oh, Chief, Edgar says you're going in the wrong door.
You tell Edgar that I'll go in any door that I wish.
The wrong door. The wrong door!
Now listen, Turban Mary. I want to know who you're taking your orders from.
I take orders from Margot, the medium. She owns a string of these places. Oh, please don't call the cops. I've told you everything I know.
Secret entrance. Now look, put thy first digit on that spot.
My what?
Your digit.
This is a digit? I thought it was a finger.
Speak to me, baby. What have they done to you?
Say, what happened to these guys?
They're hypnotized. It didn't happen to me because I'm an idiot.
He's scared stiff.
Fire, brimstone, devil's tea, release the spirits that are holding ye.
The Honorable Horace Debussy Jones.
Now we've seen everything, and just to make sure, let's look again. Man, oh man, what a ball, what a brawl. Leo Dorsey, Hunt's Hall, and the Bowery Boys strike it rich and make a boo-boo in their debut in high society.
You'll get those hysterical, hilarious horrors when you join those Bowery Boys as overnight guests in a mansion of merry maniacs.
We just want your heads. Well.
Oh, well, if you said that in a quick... Our heads?
Uncle Anton, the scientific stoop.
Would you like a high cut or a low cut, sir?
Oh, I'd like a low cut.
Uncle Derek, the medical madman.
What is it you're trying to say?
Help!
Cousin Francine, the fluff with the stuff.
I mean business.
Aunt Amelia, who's no camellia. The butler Grisson, he's gruesome. The family tree, a man-eating honeysuckle.
Boy, oh boy, I feel just like a space cadet. This will register his brain potential.
My friend here has a vacuum-packed head.
The Bowery Boys get the heebies, the jeebies, the willies, and the shakes, while you get the laughs of the year.
Oh, he's mine!
Gentlemen, I have a suggestion. 50-50.
No.
Routine 6, Satch.
Oh.
How many times I have to tell you not to play around with that filthy nonsense?
Do not fear it, Master. Voodoo can protect as well as destroy.
Fear it? I despise it, you fool. Wax images, potions, nail parings, and what have you. Tell me, Bartool.
Master?
What did you want those hair clippings for? Planning to put a spell on me? Well, answer me, you sullen brute, unless you want the beating of your life.
Master, do not beat me, master. Do not even talk of beating me.
I want to talk to you.
Judging from the look on your face, I probably don't want to listen.
It's important.
Well, what is it?
The guest list for this weekend.
Well, what about it? It's all fixed. Bill Payne, your cousin Harold, that Chinese detective Charlie Chan, who did me a service in Honolulu, and his son. A mixed bag, but interesting.
You know perfectly well what I mean.
My dear Anne, I'm not clairvoyant.
You deliberately left Michael Ross off the list. Why?
For the very good reason that I don't want him in my house.
Why? What reason have you to say that?
Because he's a miserable fortune hunter, that's why.
He's the finest man I know, and he happens to be in love with me. He couldn't care less about your beastly money.
My dear, how naive you are.
I tell you, he loves me, and I love him.
Indeed. Then tell him from me that on the day he marries you, I'll change my will so you get nothing. See how his affection stands up to that.
Tell him yourself. He's coming here this weekend after all. You see, I asked him.
Anne, come back here. Anne! Anne! Mr. Chan did brilliant work for me in Honolulu. A masterpiece of deduction.
Please, like aging spinster, I am getting too old to blush becomingly. However, most grateful for a flattering word.
Tell him about the case, Pop. Go on.
Among traits my number one son has failed to inherit is modesty. Real or assumed.
But we'd love to hear, Mr. Chan.
Mr. Temple was victim of robbery in Honolulu. Thief was apprehended and items recovered. But now let us turn to a topic more interesting, such as Mr. Payne's great discovery in Honduras.
I shan't even try to be modest. I'm too pleased with myself. This claim we located may turn out to be one of the biggest uranium finds in years.
Not to mention one of the most lucrative. You accompanied Mr. Payne to Honduras?
Accompanied is the word. He did all the work.
Nonsense, Harry. We'd struck nothing for weeks, and I was about ready to give up when he insisted on one more trip. That did it, and he deserves full credit.
Well, maybe I deserve a little credit, too, for putting up the cash.
You certainly do, Uncle Joseph. And a few extra marks for giving me the chance to do something worthwhile for a change.
You told Harry about our agreement yet?
I thought that should come from you.
Hello? What have you two been up to behind my back?
Something you'll like. I'm buying Payne's interest in the mine and turning it over to you instead of the lump sum I promised you. You're going to be a very rich young man, my boy.
You're giving me half the mine instead of... instead of...
I promised you a large capital sum if you succeeded. You did succeed. So I'm going one better. I'm giving you half of the mine, making you independent for life. Any objections?
Man, I sure wish I had an uncle who would give me a piece of a uranium mine.
Obviously, my number one son has been very unfortunate in the choice of blood relations.
Well, a little thanks wouldn't be out of place.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you very much, Uncle. Thank you very much.
This is Michael Ross, all of you, a friend of mine.
But not, let me make it plain, a friend of mine. Mr. Ross is aware he's not welcome here.
How dare you, Father?
Forget it, Anne. I put up with a lot worse for the chance of seeing you. Shall we go into the garden? I should hate to see your father throw a fit.
Get around with that tray, Bartu. Standing there like a dummy.
The snake. The snake tattoo.
You wish a drink, young master?
Uncle, you shouldn't speak the way you do to Bartu.
Why not?
That snake tattoo, didn't you see it? Don't you know what it means?
Some voodoo rubbish, I believe.
It's not rubbish. It means he's been initiated into the most secret rites.
Secret rites, my eye. Do you believe in such nonsense, Mr. Chan?
I have slight knowledge of the ancient art, Mr. Temple, but not sufficient to offer opinion.
I caught Batu trying some on this morning, collecting hair clippings from my head. To make a death fetish, I suppose. I knocked him out of his hand and promised him a beating if I caught him at it again.
You struck him?
Certainly. I haven't dropped down dead yet. There's the gong. Let's take our drinks with us.
Slam. Game and rubber. Congratulations, partner.
Thank you.
This game is kind of like detection, isn't it, Pop? You know, the way you got to figure things out.
Well, principles of logical deduction are certainly most important in each. However, bridge is much more relaxing than detection.
Now, there you are, Anne. I suppose it would be too much to expect you to pay any attention to my guests.
I'm sorry if I've neglected you all, but when you hear our news, I know you'll forgive me. Will you tell them or shall I?
Oh, let me, darling. Anne has just agreed to become my wife.
Gee, that's great.
Fine. Now, wait a minute. I suppose the small formality of obtaining my permission didn't occur to either of you.
I don't need it. I'm over 21.
Indeed. I imagine you think you've done very well for yourself.
Anne has made me very happy.
I'll bet. Visions of luxury and ease for the rest of your life, eh?
You've no right to talk to me like that.
I'll talk as I please to a wretched fortune-hunting parasite.
If you weren't Anne's father, I'd hit you. Come on, Anne.
Wait.
Let's go.
My lawyer will be round here first thing in the morning to change my will. Man won't get a penny.
Your privilege. Come on, darling.
Come in, please. Oh, thank you, Batu. A cup of good tea on arising is almost preferable to a handful of emeralds.
Do the young master wish tea now?
No, just to make mine emeralds.
Later, please. I would suggest number one sun arise from man-made bed and enjoy natural beauty of England in the morning.
Oh, kind of bright, isn't it? I got to bed late.
For what reason?
Playing billiards. Ross beat me. Just a fluke.
Just a fluke, huh? Could it perhaps be that opponent was superior?
No, I was just getting hot when he made up some phony story about being tired and quit.
But he had a very tiring day. Why should he make a phony story?
I know it was. Because he left his cigarette lighter in the billiard room, and when I went by his room to give it back to him, he wasn't there.
Oh?
And what's more, I know where he was.
Well, please elucidate to humble father.
Having a heck of a row with Mr. Temple. You could hear him all along the corridor.
Well, of course, this might be...
What's that?
Sounds like impending trouble.
Wait for me.
He's dead, Mr. Chan, isn't he?
Yes, he is dead.
His heart, it wasn't very good.
Was not his heart, Miss Anne. Your father was murdered. Please call police.
Doc says his provisional report shows that Temple died of a fractured skull. The usual blunt instrument could be this. Shows traces, though the lab will have to confirm, of course. Now, Mr. Chan, when did you last see this servant, what's his name, Batu?
According to delightful English custom, he brought tea to our room just as Miss Anne screamed.
Ah, then he can't have got far. They'll soon catch him. Well, Mr. Chan, it looks like an open and shut case for once, eh?
Your optimism, Inspector, is very refreshing. I would appreciate explanation of reason for same.
Well, this chap Batu. Temple treated him like a dog. Pushed him around, even struck and beat him. Obviously pushed him too far, and the fellow attacked him.
Sounds logical, Pop. Didn't you see the way Batu stared at Mr. Temple last night? He sure hated him.
I do not doubt this, my son. But I fail to understand why said Batu should strike down Mr. Temple late last night and then wait until early this morning to disappear.
You can't judge a chap like Batu by ordinary standards, Mr. Chan. Who knows how his mind works? He's jungle-born, remember?
I am remembering quite well. In fact, I have small plan and would appreciate permission to visit suspect's room.
But what for? We've been all over it. There's nothing there.
Nevertheless, would be most grateful for permission.
All right, help yourself.
Hey, they got part 2.
Bring him in here, Smith.
Well, the inspector's got the case sewn up. I guess I'll stick around.
Evidently, my number 1 son prefers to investigate bird in hand. Humble father, however, will pursue elusive bird in the bush.
I can take notes, Inspector.
All I ask is don't talk.
Got him at the bus station, sir.
Your name is Bartu?
That is how I am called.
Have you another name?
I have other names in my tribe, but not here.
You're aware that your master, Joseph Temple, was found murdered this morning?
I know it.
Why did you run away when he was found?
Because I did not wish to be punished by white laws.
You mean punished for his murder?
Yes.
You're admitting you killed him?
I, Bartu, killed him.
There you are, Mr. Chan. What did I tell you? All right, boys, take him down to the station and we'll get a statement from him.
One moment, please.
Now what? It's all over but the shouting.
With your permission, I would still like to shout a little.
Well, if you wish. Have you a reason?
Yes, I have a reason. I found this under floorboards in Bartu's room.
Well?
What is it, Pop?
It is voodoo death fetish. Practice used when one wishes someone to die. Effigy is made of proposed victim. Nail pierces heart.
Well, there you are. More proof. Premeditation.
I think not. Bartu, this is how you killed your master, is it not? Your magic is most powerful. Is that not correct, Bartu?
I am one of the sons of the snake. I killed him.
But not with your own hands.
My magic killed him. I cursed him and he died.
But you did not use this weapon to strike him down.
No, it was my magic. I took him tea this morning and he lies there dead, cold and dead. I ran away because I am afraid.
I'm truly sorry, Inspector, that I was obliged to burst your bubble. But please do not look so dejected.
Let him go, Smith. Now back where we started.
I got a theory, Pop.
More certain than the rising of the sun, the blooming of a flower, and the branching of a tree is the fact that my number 1 son will have a theory.
No, listen.
I'm listening.
What about that row I heard last night between Ross and Temple?
What's this?
Well, he said he was going to bed, but he didn't. He was shouting at Temple in here when I passed on my way to our room. And what Temple said about his lawyer, that fits in too.
And what did Mr. Temple say about his lawyer?
Like many Victorian parents, he proposed to cut off his daughter with proverbial humble shilling if she married Mr. Ross.
Well, now, let's have a chat with young Ross, eh?
So, you're trying to pin it on me, Inspector?
I should be glad if you'd answer my question, sir. How did you spend your time last night after dinner?
Well, I played billiards with young Mr. Chan, and then I went up to bed.
Straight up to bed, sir?
No.
Would you mind telling us what you did do then, sir?
Well, as I was passing Mr. Temple's room, he called me in. We had a row about private matters, and then I left him. And that's all.
Is it the case that earlier in the evening you almost struck Mr. Temple here in this room?
Yes, I did. He needled me in front of everybody.
Called you a fortune hunter, I'm told.
Yes?
Threatened to cut Miss Anne off.
Yes, he did. But that's got nothing to do...
Just a moment, sir. You're aware the lawyer was to be sent for to change the will?
Well, everybody was aware of it. He announced it right here, right in front of all of us.
Perhaps it didn't have the same effect upon everybody. You were the one who was going to marry Miss Anne.
I don't give a hoot about her money.
Your own financial position is good?
Well, I've got a job. We'd have managed.
It's lucky the new will wasn't signed. You'll be able to more than manage with all this, eh?
I didn't kill him. He was alive when I left him.
Maybe. Maybe not. All right, Mr. Ross, you can go. But don't leave the house without permission.
Oh, Mr. Ross, one moment, please.
Yes, Mr. Chan?
When you were with Mr. Temple last night in his bedroom, undoubtedly exchanging abuse, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, No, nothing.
Thank you.
What were you expecting him to notice?
Merely wondering, Inspector. If indeed Mr. Ross is telling the truth that Mr. Temple was still alive, he possibly could have noticed Temple's preparation for a later visitor.
Oh, Mr. Chan.
Yes?
I don't suppose it has got anything to do with it, but I noticed when I came into the room that Mr. Temple was reading a cablegram.
Strange, no cablegram found on body.
He placed it in a drawer of his desk.
Which drawer, please?
The left-hand drawer.
Thank you. Inspector, worth investigating.
What is it?
I'm afraid, Inspector, this suggests another line of questioning.
Yes, and another suspect, too. Young man?
Yes, Inspector?
Fetch Payne, will you?
Payne?
I said Payne.
But I didn't even see him last night.
Mr. Payne, I put it to you that Mr. Temple sent for you late last night.
He did nothing of the kind, I tell you. The last I saw of him was when we played bridge.
I suggest, however, you saw him later, and he discussed this cablegram with you.
Don't even know what cablegram it is.
Mr. Payne, you had sold your interest in the new mine to Mr. Temple, hadn't you?
Yes, I had.
So the arrival of this cablegram would ruin everything for you.
I wish you wouldn't keep on about this cablegram. What cablegram? What does it say?
Regret to inform you, reports show Honduras mine faked. Uranium previously planted, intent to defraud. Further reports and confirmation follow.
I don't believe it. I won't believe it if I don't see it myself. But this'll finish me as a geologist.
There's your motive, Pop. This guy sold his share of the mine for a hunk of dough, but that cable proved to Temple it was a fraud.
Mr. Payne, when the guests retired to their rooms last night, you did not see Mr. Temple?
I swear I didn't, Mr. Chan.
Did he at any time mention the cable to you?
Not a word. That's what I can't understand. He should have told me about it, but he didn't.
I see.
You understand, Mr. Payne, that if evidence should come up that you did see Mr. Temple late last night, you'll be in a very bad position.
But I've told you I didn't see him.
Very well, you can go, but be good enough to remain in the house until further notice. Yes, he's our man, all right. How do we prove it?
Question of cablegram, Inspector, might also prove equally embarrassing to other member of expedition, namely Mr. Carr.
Yes, it might at that.
But I'm wondering why persons for whom cablegram might spell ruin did not burn it in fireplace instead of returning same to desk drawer.
But what good would that do? It was bound to come out later.
But very much later. Burning of the cable would be logical action for a person who would suffer by message. But evidently guilty party was not aware of its existence.
Well, how about a word with Mr. Harold Carr, eh? Not that we'll get any further, I bet.
Ancient saying, Inspector. Never bet on unsure thing.
My uncle never said anything about a cable. Anyway, I shouldn't think it was genuine. Someone's idea of a joke, I'd say.
But most unfunny joke for Mr. Temple,
Anyway, Payne had nothing to do with the faking of the mine, if it was faked. I stake my life on that.
A loyal friend is like rare white jade from ancient Hansu period. Both are beyond price.
I wonder if my uncle mentioned the cable to Payne. He didn't say anything about it. Perhaps that's why he wanted to see him last night.
Oh? When was this?
Oh, no special time, just as he was going to bed. I gave him the message myself.
Gee, Pop, that sews it up real tight for Payne.
Could be. But only one man's word against another. In court, defending counsels are very fond of this situation.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Carr. That's all for the moment. If you'll be good enough to remain in the house until further notice.
Yes, of course.
Ross, Payne, Carr. Which is it? No fingerprints, no evidence, no nothing.
Hey, what about the girl? No one said anything about her, but she stood to lose a fortune if her father lived.
Why not question young lady, Inspector?
Let's go and find her.
He was never a real father to me. He ignored me when I was a child and bullied me when I grew up. But all the same, I didn't kill him.
If your father had lived to change his will, you'd have lost all this, eh?
Oddly enough, Mr. Policeman, I didn't much care.
No?
No, and you needn't sneer. Money's never brought me much happiness.
You weren't afraid that Mr. Ross's interest might wane if you were no longer an heiress?
That's a disgusting thing to say, and I won't stay here and listen to another word.
What a wildcat. Could be the type to hit you over the head as soon as look at you.
The best evidence sometimes comes from the mouth of the criminal himself, or herself.
Yeah, she sure gave herself away, all right. I mean, you could tell she wouldn't stop at violence.
My son, I did not intend pointing finger at anyone, yet. But, Inspector, I have very interesting idea.
What, for instance?
Collect all our suspects in Mr. Temple's bedroom at midnight tonight. Then we shall see, hmm? One of you killed Joseph Temple. Results of patient inquiry points at the same time to all of you and none of you. So tonight, Bar 2 has agreed to lend me his secret law. The art of finding the guilty one by voodoo magic.
You can't monkey with that stuff, Chan. Anything can happen. I've seen things, I tell you.
The innocent are safe, Mr. Payne. Now, listen.
I am Bartu, the son of the snake. The power is in me, the dark power of the voodoo. This is Sabor the snake. For the innocent, a kiss brings peace and fortune. For the guilty, death.
I did it. I killed him.
And also, Mr. Carr, it was you who faked the claim to get lump sum offered by your uncle because you wanted money instead of worthless uranium claim. But cablegram arrived and spoiled your plans. Your uncle guessed the fraud, sent for you and accused you.
I tried to convince him it was Payne, but he wouldn't believe me. He knew the truth instinctively. He always despised me. I hated him for it.
And you killed him for it. You also left cablegram where it could be found, hoping Mr. Payne would be accused of the murder you committed. Inspector?
Thank you, Mr. Chen.
Mr. Bartu, for your very generous assistance, I would like to present you with this copy of voodoo recording, which with great difficulty I procured from museum.
Thank you, Master. You know something, Mr. Chen? You did some pretty good magic yourself tonight. How would you like to become a member of my tribe? I could get you tattooed with a snake and everything.
I am most grateful for your generous offer, but unfortunately must decline. Perhaps my #1 son would like to be tattooed with the snake.
Me? I hate snakes.
faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to soar higher than any plane, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Lois Lane of the Daily Planet.
Clark Kent, Planet.
And in operation, this stabilizer is one of the most effective yet devised, representing an investment in years.
How'd you like to be making the test flight in this, Lois?
Maybe I will.
Fine chance.
Everyone off, please. Everyone off.
Come on, Lois. That's us. Say, by the way, Lois. Lois.
Nothing will interfere with voyage to Tokyo.
Help! Help! Japs are stealing the giant bombers. Hurry up!
Attention, all pilots. Giant bomber being stolen. Take off immediately.
Well-placed bomb will stop pursuit.
This looks like a job for Superman.
Where you are. Leave plane immediately, or girl will be released.
Okay, little man. You win. Well, you're safe in this plane, Lois.
I'd feel much safer if Superman were here.
Hello again. This is Don O'Malley with Don's Breakfast Cereal. Thanks for tuning in. That was Blackhawk, starring Kirk Alyn, chapters 11 through 15. Stick around. We might have a Halloween special for you. That all depends on my cameraman, producer, and editor, who's standing behind the camera right now. He's not paying attention to me, so I can say anything I want. Now he's pointing. So I have to wrap this up. Thanks again for tuning in. Hope you enjoy it, and we should have either the Phantom or Captain America coming up. So stay tuned. Thanks again. Don O'Malley with Don's Breakfast Cereal. Good night.